Hold on because we're dropping a bomb right off the bat. I'm Jack Romano and things are heating up in the heart of the Black and Gold Nation. News is breaking fast and every single story directly impacts the future of our team. We've got a linebacker calling out an old rival, crazy offensive speculation, rumors of a blockbuster quarterback trade, and even Aaron Rodgers becoming the center of locker room discussion. So the question is, does all of this strengthen or threaten the Steelers? Stick around to the end because you'll only hear it here. But before we dive into this hot Steelers news, let me ask for that one favor. Our mission is to hit our first major milestone of 1,000 subscribers on this channel. If you love this kind of raw, passionate fan talk, subscribe now, hit that notification bell, and join the Black and Gold Nation. Let's go. We're starting hot, fam, because this one just shook the entire Terrible Towel Nation. Peyton Wilson, our second-year linebacker, didn't hold back when asked about the Week 1 showdown against Justin Fields. The guy was honest, said he has respect for Fields, and even attended Bible study with him. But he dropped the real talk. We absolutely want to destroy Justin on the field. Just think about the atmosphere of this game, right in the season opener. Steelers versus the Jets, Rodgers on one side, Fields on the other. A quarterback carousel that feels like a movie script but is now a reality in the NFL. It's impossible not to feel the tension in the air. Because let's be real, true fan, Fields definitely knows part of the defensive system we used in the past, and that could be a problem if there aren't new wrinkles in the playbook. And that's where the analysis comes in. What's more valuable, the memory of a former teammate who can give tips to the opposing offense, or the evolution of a young, fast defense that's hungry to prove it won't repeat the mistakes of 2024. I strongly believe in that second point, especially because Wilson is a new blood in this defense, fresh talent, a guy who truly represents the Pittsburgh toughness we're so proud of. But we also can't deny that when he says he wants to destroy him, it's pure fan fuel. It's already blowing up the forums, the groups, and X, formerly Twitter. Everyone's talking about it like it's a playoff game. That's because the rivalry just got another layer. It's an ex-quarterback against his old defense. It's Rodgers wanting to prove his worth against the team that discarded him. And it's Fields hungry to prove he can still be a franchise QB. And pay attention, because this analysis is only here. This game isn't just another opener. It could set the tone for the entire season. If the defense swallows Fields whole, it sends a message that we're ready to face any offense. If they slip up, the ghost of the past will come back to haunt us. The mood is war, and you, a true fan, know you can't miss a single detail of this preparation. And hold on, because if that first bomb got you hyped, the next news is going to add even more fuel to the fire. Is the front office really thinking about abandoning the dream of a big-name wide receiver to bet on a long shot? Come with me, because now the drama shifts to the offense. Now, hold on to your hats because things just got really strange in the halls of Pittsburgh. The Steelers might be giving up on the idea of bringing in a heavy hitter like Terry McLaurin or even Chris Olave, and instead are targeting a guy who probably won't even make the Patriots roster. Yes, I'm talking about Jalen Polk, a 2024 second-round pick who's already on the chopping block in New England. So fan, take a deep breath. Does this make any sense? Because on one hand, the front office called the Commanders, tried to talk to the Saints, signaling they wanted a star, an immediate impact player, a legit receiver to be the WR2 right away. On the other hand, now this rumor pops up that they're scouting Polk, who might have raw talent but couldn't even find a spot with the Patriots. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. The fan base is furious on social media. Everyone is saying you can't go from McLaurin and drop down to a guy who, at best, would be the fifth receiver on the team. This is pure social proof. People aren't buying this story. And I get it. Because the Steelers right now don't have room for gambles. We already have Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson. We already have youth and development. What we need is proven talent. A guy who comes in and changes how the opposing defense plays, who takes pressure off Pickens. So when this rumor surfaces, the natural reaction is, has the front office lost its mind? Now on the other hand, there's that Steelers factor we know so well. The franchise loves to find hidden value. And it wouldn't be the first time that someone who was written off elsewhere becomes a key piece in Pittsburgh. But there's a detail you only hear here. Time. We're 2 weeks away from the start of the season. If Polk comes in, he needs to learn the playbook, build chemistry with Rodgers, and prove himself, all in record time. It's almost asking for failure. That's why the expectation is that this saga still has more chapters, because insiders are already saying the front office hasn't given up on trying for something bigger. Chaos has been unleashed, and honestly, if you blink, you'll miss a new name popping up every day. And that leaves us with the question that sets up our next segment. What if the solution to our offensive problems isn't a wide receiver, but a completely different, explosive quarterback who could change the face of the team for years? That's right, fan. The next bomb involves a name that divides opinions across the entire NFL. All right, take a deep breath, because this one is a bombshell. The name circulating behind the scenes is none other than Kyler Murray. Yes, the same quarterback who was a first overall pick, the same one who became an eternal promise with the Cardinals and who many now call a ticking time bomb. The conversation is clear. Arizona is tired of mediocrity. Gannon is on the hot seat, and if there's no improvement in 2025, someone's going to fall. And that's where Pittsburgh comes in, because if there's one franchise that thinks 2 or 3 years ahead, it's ours. Rodgers is here, but he's a short-term rental. No one expects him to play beyond this season. Rudolph isn't the solution. Howard is still a project, and the future of the offense could be on the table with this massive negotiation. And it is massive, because the numbers being thrown around are serious business. 2 first-round picks, a second, plus a third, a package deal we've seen in trades for Stafford, Wilson, and Watson. In other words, it's a total all-in move, no half measures. Now think with me as a fan. Imagine Arthur Smith designing an offense with a mobile, creative quarterback, capable of improvising against the tough defenses of the Ravens and Browns. We've seen flashes with Fields, but Murray is on a much higher level of natural talent. The guy runs, he throws, he creates out of thin air. It would be pure electricity in the Heinz Field roar. Of course, the risk is big, because Murray hasn't proven consistency yet. He still needs to show he can lead in January, not just September. And the fan base is divided. Some people are saying it would be a divine gift, while others think it's crazy to trade so much draft capital. But look, you only get this analysis here. The Super Bowl window doesn't wait. If you sit around waiting, by the time you wake up, you're 5 years too late. And this is the crossroads. Rodgers might deliver a good season, but what then? Are you going to trust to chance or try to secure the future with a talent who is still 28 and has a lot of road left to travel? This question is already burning up the forums and groups. Everyone is non-stop with their opinions, and if you think this rumor was explosive, just wait for the next part, because there's more gunpowder in the air. Because Rodgers, the very guy at the center of this whole equation, ended up becoming a topic of behind-the-scenes discussion in a way no one expected. Hang on, because the next revelation shows a side of him that many people don't know. It's time to talk about the most talked about man this preseason, Aaron Rodgers. And look, fan, I know there are a lot of black and gold brothers out there who are skeptical, because the narrative that's been attached to him over the last few years has been heavy. Inflated ego, difficult guy, a star who only thinks about himself. But hold up, because Skylar Thompson, our backup quarterback who's fighting for a spot, went public and debunked that label. He said clearly that Rodgers is a good guy, that he holds people accountable, that he cares about his teammates and wants to see everyone performing at the same level of excellence. That already changes the perception, but it doesn't stop there. The detail that caught attention was him saying that Rodgers comes to the field smiling, singing songs, even playing an imaginary guitar, showing that he's light, he's enjoying the vibe. And what's more, when he saw Thompson get knocked down in practice with no one defending him, it was Rodgers himself who went straight to the offensive line and said, "That never happens here again." This, my friends, is locker room leadership. It's the Steel Army DNA being absorbed fast. And there's more. Will Howard, who could feel threatened, said that Rodgers is genuinely helping him, giving him tips in practice, asking if he's being too much, if he can guide him. This behavior isn't that of an egotistical star, it's a veteran who understands the weight of legacy. Even Cameron Hayward, who had previously criticized the free agency saga, had Rodgers on his podcast and, in the middle of the conversation, apologized and admitted he had judged him wrong. There's the social proof. Even the locker room leaders are changing their minds. Now, why does this matter so much? Because if Rodgers delivers on the field and also creates this positive atmosphere off it, we could have the perfect combination: experience, talent, and chemistry. And, true fan, you know chemistry is everything in a Super Bowl run. But hold your horses, because this analysis is only here. Even with this good vibe, we can't forget that he's 41 years old and only signed a one-year deal. It's an immediate present, not the future. In other words, every practice, every game, every snap is decisive. And that's why I say, if you don't follow this season to the end, you're going to miss one of the most intense sagas the Steel Curtain Pride has ever lived through. And I'll leave you in suspense because in the conclusion, we're going to tie these four bombs together and show you why 2025 might be the most unpredictable year of our generation. Take a breath, fan, because what we just went through is simply insane. From a linebacker promising to crush an ex-quarterback, to bizarre speculation in the wide receiver room, a rumor of a giant trade for an explosive talent, and even a perception shift about Rodgers. All of this shows that 2025 is not going to be a normal season. This team is on the brink between glory and collapse, and we're going to live every detail together. So tell me, do you see this whirlwind as hope or despair? Subscribe and comment, because this is the real home of the Black and Gold Nation. The next chapter is coming right up.